my Transformers family. New viewers, welcome to George Reviews. I am the 80s Transformers fan. Today on George Reviews, we'll be taking a look at Takara Tomy Transformers the Movie Studio Series 86. He is number 29 of this series. We have the windowless packaging, side of the box, 86 series studio. Here's a deluxe class figure. Back panel shows us vehicle mode and robot mode, 26 steps to transform. This side panel cleverly has the 86 on the insert and Bumblebee artwork running right at us. Nothing further to this packaging. Let's get Bumblebee open and take a look. With all Studio Series figures, you get an insert that depicts a scene from Transformers the movie or a scene from whatever the Studio Series represents. And in this case, it is the inside of Unicron from the final battle inside with Hot Rod and Springer and those guys, and they rode out. It's odd that they chose this specific scene for Bumblebee because he was only there for a second. So this concludes the unboxing portion of the video. Alright, let's take a look at Bumblebee. He's supposed to be the same size as the previous Studio Series Bumblebee released. It was a Generation 1 type Bumblebee, but he looks smaller. We'll have to put the scale to the test. Bring him a little bit closer. As usual, we take a look at the head sculpt first. Looks a lot like the cartoon. The entire head is a yellow plastic. The face plate is painted silver. The eyes are painted blue. But you can see some bleed through to the silver. It's not a heavy enough coat, or they just don't bother to prime it first, but kind of bothers me a little bit with all the yellow going on. It has a little bit of bleed because there is a lot of yellow. This figure is all yellow plastic along with some charcoal gray or charcoal black plastic. Nice Autobot logo on his chest. Well done there. Not a lot going on with this figure. You can see the headlights are painted on his feet, and the bumper is painted. Is this a separate plastic piece? Nope. It is just a paint app. His feet are covered up, oddly enough, and the hollowing on the back is covered up. That's pretty good. He was wearing the backpack we never saw in the cartoon, but the parts have to go somewhere, and this time he is not a parts format. It does not peg in or plug in. It is part of the figure, which is very nice. So let's get straight to Bumblebee's articulation now. Bumblebee head 360, nothing up, and just a little bit down. Can we get some side to side? Just a tad bit of side to side out of that. His arm comes up this far. I'm assuming it works for both of them. 360 is a giant ball joint right there. He has a bicep swivel right here and elbow bend right there. Nice molded in fingers on his hand. 360. I'm coming to his waist. We should have a lot of articulation here. 360. Nice splits, front to back this much. Whee! Bumblebee has an upper thigh swivel. This little guy is getting down with his articulation. Coming out to his ankle, we get some, oh wow, it's up here. It rocks out to the side so he can get a wide stance and keep his feet on the ground. We get some back articulation and nothing to the front. I guess because of the transformation, that part locks in right there, but nothing to the front, or I haven't discovered it. But that's not bad for the little guy. Not bad at all. Bumblebee is packaged with one weapon. It's the generic Generation 1 pistol. Ironhide and other characters were seen with it. I don't think it's the same one that came with Studio Series Ironhide, but it's the exact same design. It is a black. Let's get it in his hand. And now he can tew, 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 tew. You know that's not how we do it. Decepticons. Bumblebee has weapon storage in this mode. I don't know if it's vehicle mode, but it's the back of the dang on car. There's a peg on this side of the gun, and there's a port right here on his back, like so. And when they weren't pulling their weapons from subspace, every now and then you could catch these guys reaching behind their back and mysteriously pulling out a gun, so you can kind of get that. And again, now to get B transformed. His gun out of his hand. I don't think his hands collapse. I'm going to start with the feet. We see some doors right here. It probably opens up. All right, this unpegs under here. I believe this is it. Bumblebee transformed. And I'm going to address it. And I'm sure everyone has talked about it in reviews. I'm not the first one to get to this toy. It has a true deformed mode, sort of like the Generation 1 toy, but it is not rounded off like the Generation 1 toy. It looks very cartoon-esque. No doubt. No doubt you know it's Bumblebee, and no doubt you know it's supposed to be a Volkswagen Beetle. But, like, what's with these corners right here? Like, I mean, we all saw the images, and I bought it anyway. I like this toy. Let me just get that out of the way. I like it. I like it in robot mode. I like it in vehicle mode so far. But definitely wanted this canopy area to be more rounded off. I don't know why they did that. Don't get it, but very odd choice. But let's take a look at it. Has the painted headlights from the feet, painted on bumper. We get another Autobot logo right here after the transformation is done. Got a little bit of a gap right there. The same Autobot logo right here on the roof, so we get two. We got a little bit of a discolored panel right here on both sides. Not sure what that is about. The windows are a black paint. We don't get an actual plastic piece for the windshields. Black paint all the way around like the Generation 1 toy. And you would think, why represent the cartoon, this would have been painted blue. Pretty sure they'll come back later on and like buzzworthy this thing and make the windows blue or something like that. Something weird. We have tail lights painted on the back, and I don't. Let's see how Bumblebee rolls on this glass surface. He rolls great. I got all four wheels touching. He's rocking a little bit, but so yeah, nice going, Hasbro. And the weapon again stores on this little bump notch right here or whatever this is supposed to be. I don't know if that's supposed to be his head in there from the cartoon, from the toy or whatever. It's supposed to indicate that's when the head pops out. I don't know, but anyway, you can plug the gun right in here. We did it earlier, and he has weapon storage in vehicle mode for what that's worth. All right, let's get a vehicle mode size up and run down real quick. We're going to bring out the Generation 1, check out the size differences and what they kept the same. All right, we have the black bumper, even though it's a separate plastic piece over here. But it was a nice, big, gigantic, cartoony, molded bumper on this side. We get the silver rims painted, which is very nice. And these tires look very much like the Generation 1 tires. We see what they were going for. They tried to mimic the toy and a little bit of the cartoon together. Now, everyone says this guy looks more like Generation 1 Bumble Jumper. But to me, he looks more like Generation 1 Hubcap. Except for that hood. Definitely, the hood is definitely Volkswagen Beetle, even though it could be rounded off more. And there was nothing in the transformation keeping this thing from being rounded, just their design. But the overall look of the car and the windshield and the roof of the car looks more like Hubcap to me. What do you think? Here is the previous Studio Series Bumblebee that was based on the Generation 1 cartoon and toy. While it looks perfectly like an authentic Beetle, I kind of think most Transformers fans weren't looking for the authentic car look. It was kind of a copy of the Masterpiece toy, but with some parts forming going on. And you can clearly see the look they were going for is totally different. And this guy was a parts former, which really bugged the hell out of me. He didn't have an Autobot symbol on the roof of the car, bugged the hell out of me. Had some cool things going on, like I enjoyed the translucent blue windows. So it wasn't all that bad, but this guy is definitely going up for sale. He is out of here. This is the new one on the shelf as of right now. Review's not even over with. Now for a couple more Studio Series 1986 Transformers. Here is Brawn, fellow deluxe class Transformer. He's a lot bigger in his vehicle mode. And here is Jazz. I don't know if is he a deluxe class? I don't even remember, but here is Jazz. All right, jumping back into robot mode, the Earthrise Bumblebee cannot compare to the new Studio Series 1986 Bumblebee at all. And I'm looking everywhere for a reason to give it some credit. I mean, I really liked it when it first came out, except for the parts forming. This part right here, it pegs in, or you can hold it in his hand as a shield. They thought that would be clever, but it wasn't. But and then the lack of an Autobot logo on the chest. It's just, man, no. Only place I could think of to say something positive is the face. He has a good coat of silver on his face, but you can barely see the eyes on this one, the blue of the eyes. It is there, but you can barely see it. This one is done much better over here. I just wish they had a heavier coat of silver on the face. Here are Brawn and Jazz in their robot modes, and these guys look fantastic together. Looking at Brawn next to Jazz, Brawn might be a little bit too tall. Okay, a couple more 86 Studio Series guys. We have Grimlock and Blitzwing, and man, that's a gorgeous Blitzwing. Hope they update Astro Train soon. Can't forget about Studio Series Exosuit Spike. Here are a couple comparisons outside of the world of Transformers. Here's Storm Shadow from G.I. Joe Classified, and representing Star Wars is Luke and Grogu from the Book of Boba Fett. Almost totally forgot about the first edition of Masterpiece Bumblebee. I think the second version of Masterpiece Bumblebee, which I didn't buy, is the best representation of a Generation 1 cartoon accurate Bumblebee in vehicle mode and robot mode, but I don't have it to show you. Speaking of cartoon accuracy, let's get Bumblebee out here with the 1986 movie cartoon model of Bumblebee. And you can see one of the biggest things that they didn't do is make the windows blue. I don't know how they missed that or why they didn't do that. They actually used blue for the eyes. It's like they could have used the same blue for the eyes to paint the windows. And why they didn't do that to make it a little bit more accurate, except for another release down the road, I don't know. Jumping back into vehicle mode, making more work for myself. Here is the comparison next to the cartoon model. And we know this isn't going to work, but it's sort of kind of close at this angle. But not making the roof of the vehicle where it meets the windshield more around it, it kind of kills it. But this is still a great Bumblebee. Time for my final thoughts on Studio Series 1986 Bumblebee. I really like this figure. The only flaw is the one we all knew when they first teased or showed the pictures of it was the roof of the car not being rounded. But it's a very cool toy. And when I talk about recommending a figure, it's because I really love a toy. It was a good price and it was all around like it was just something like a collector just has to have. And I do recommend this figure, but when I think about the price, he was $24.95, 25. It was like 26 or 27 bucks after taxes. And this is kind of all you get for that price. For that exact same price, I got G.I. Joe Torch, and he's a much larger figure. He has more paint apps. He comes with a ton of accessories. And for the exact same price, I got Marvel Legends Cable with a Build-A-Figure piece, 2 guns, and some hands. And with Bumblebee, we just get a handgun. No blast effect or anything like that at the $25 price point. And don't let no one fool you, your wife, your girlfriend, or whoever. Size does matter. But a cool figure. I like both modes, even though the deformed Beetle mode is weird. I did like it. And I like the color yellow they chose, Autobot symbol. The figure does all it can do. So that's all I got for you. I want to thank you all for watching another episode of George Reviews. The reviews where every toy has a story.